I stared at my phone screen, reading the message from my sister's wedding planner 3 times. Your invitation has been withdrawn at the bride's request. 30 guests at the coffee shop saw me freeze mid-sentence, my latte halfway to my mouth, my best friend Sarah mid-laugh at something I'd just said. The noise around me turned into a dull buzz, the espresso machine hissing, chairs scraping against tile, someone's phone ringing. But all I could see were those 8 words glowing on my screen, withdrawn at the bride's request. Sarah grabbed my arm. "What's wrong? You look like you just saw a ghost." I couldn't answer. My throat had closed up completely. I showed her the phone instead, and I watched her face change from confused to angry in about 2 seconds. "Are you kidding me? Emma did this?" I nodded. My hands started shaking so badly I had to put my cup down before I dropped it. The ceramic made a sharp clink against the saucer. Everyone nearby turned to look. I didn't care. I couldn't breathe properly. I grabbed my purse and headed straight for the bathroom. My legs felt like rubber. Inside the stall, I locked the door and leaned against the cold metal wall. The smell of cheap air freshener made my stomach turn. I called Emma, straight to voicemail, of course. Then I called my mom. She picked up on the second ring. "Hi, sweetie," she said brightly, like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't just helped my sister erase me from the biggest day of her life. "Mom, did you know about this?" My voice came out shaky and small. There was a pause. Too long. "Know about what?" "Emma uninvited me from her wedding." Another pause. Then her voice changed, got colder. "It's her day. She can invite whoever she wants." The words hit me like a slap. I actually pulled the phone away from my ear and stared at it. "Are you serious right now? I'm her sister." "You'll understand when you get married someday. These things are complicated. Guest lists are hard." "Mom!" "I have to go. I'm helping Emma with final preparations. We'll talk later." She hung up. I sat there on the closed toilet seat, holding my phone, listening to the sound of running water from the sink outside. Someone was humming while they washed their hands. Life just kept going like normal for everyone else, while mine was falling apart in a bathroom stall that smelled like lemon cleaner and stale perfume. Sarah knocked on the door 10 minutes later. "You okay in there?" I wasn't, but I came out anyway. She handed me my latte, which was probably cold by now. "What do you want to do?" she asked gently. "I want to go home." My voice sounded dead, even to me. We walked back to my apartment in silence. Sarah kept glancing at me like she expected me to break down crying any second. But I didn't cry. I just felt numb. The kind of numb that starts in your chest and spreads out until your fingers and toes feel far away, like they belong to someone else. We passed the park where Emma and I used to play as kids. There was a family having a picnic on the grass, a mom spreading out a checkered blanket while 2 little girls ran circles around their dad. I looked away. Back at my apartment, I sat on my couch and just stared at the wall. Sarah made tea I didn't drink. She sat next to me for an hour before finally asking, "Do you want me to stay tonight?" I shook my head. She hugged me hard before leaving, whispered, "Call me if you need anything," and then I was alone. That's when I opened my laptop. That's when I started looking at numbers. That's when everything changed. What I found that night would destroy the perfect life she'd built on my back. It wasn't always like this. Or maybe it was, and I was just too blind to see it. Emma was always the favorite, the creative one, the free spirit, the daughter who made mom smile just by walking into a room. I was the responsible one, the boring one. The daughter who made dad nod with approval but never really sparkle with pride. When we were kids, Emma got ballet lessons and art camp. I got a savings account and lectures about planning for the future. When Dad had his heart attack 5 years ago, everything shifted. He survived, but he couldn't run his construction company anymore. Someone had to step up. Emma was in art school in another state, painting things nobody understood and posting them on Instagram. I was working in marketing, living 3 blocks from our parents, available, so I took over. It wasn't supposed to be permanent, but I turned out to be good at it, really good. Within 2 years, I doubled the revenue, hired better people, updated systems, made it work. Dad got better, but he never came back to the office. "You're doing great," he'd say during Sunday dinners. "Why mess with success?" So it became mine, my responsibility, my burden, my achievement that nobody celebrated because it was just expected. That's when Emma's temporary problems started. First, it was the apartment. She found the perfect place, but her credit score was terrible. Too many missed payments, too many maxed out credit cards. "Just co-sign," she begged over FaceTime. "I'll pay you back, I promise. I just need this one thing." Mom sat next to her, nodding encouragingly. Dad said, "Family helps family." So I signed. She promised to pay me back within 2 years. That was 5 years ago. I'm still paying $800 every month. She never mentioned it again, not once. Then it was the car payment. Her old Honda died, and she needed something reliable. Could I just cover it until she got a better paying job? 3 months, tops. That was 3 years ago. $340 a month, automatic withdrawal. Then the insurance. The phone bill because she couldn't afford it after an unexpected vet bill. The gym membership because she needed it for her mental health. Netflix and Spotify because everyone needs something to relax. The student loan because she'd missed too many payments and they were threatening legal action. A credit card minimum payment. A rent subsidy because her roommate moved out unexpectedly. 8 automatic transfers every single month. I added them up that night, sitting on my couch with my laptop balanced on my knees. $2,340 a month for 3 years. That's $84,240. Almost a down payment on a house, almost a full year's salary, almost my entire emergency fund gone. I scrolled through our text conversations. "Just this month, I promise. I'll pay you back as soon as I get my tax return. You're literally saving my life. What would I do without you?" Hearts and prayer hands emojis. Gratitude that felt real at the time, but looked hollow now on my screen. Last Christmas, I drove 3 hours through a snowstorm to get to Mom and Dad's house. I walked in carrying presents for everyone, my arms full of carefully wrapped boxes. The dining room table was set for 8 people. Every chair was filled. Emma sat at the head of the table in the spot that used to be Dad's, laughing at something her fiancé Jake said. Mom was serving ham. Dad was pouring wine. Emma's best friend Madison was there, Jake's brother, even the neighbors from across the street. "Where should I put these?" I asked, holding up the gifts. Emma glanced over. "Oh, I didn't realize you were coming." But she had. I'd texted her that morning saying I was on my way. "We're kind of full up here. Could you maybe eat in the kitchen? There's a stool by the counter." I stood there for a solid 10 seconds. Nobody moved. Nobody offered to make room. Mom said, "There's plenty of food, honey. Just grab a plate." Like that was the issue. Like I was worried about the food and not the fact that my own family had just told me to eat alone in another room. I ate standing up next to the sink. I could hear them laughing in the other room, the sound of forks on plates, wine glasses clinking. When I mentioned it later to Emma, pulling her aside before I left, she rolled her eyes so hard I thought they might stick. "God, you're so sensitive. It was just a seating thing. Don't be dramatic." Dad overheard. "Let it go," he said tiredly. "It's Christmas." That's when I realized I'd been protecting the wrong person all along. I looked at my bank account that night after the wedding planner's message. Really looked at it. Not just glancing at the balance and moving on, but studying every line item, every automatic transfer, every time I'd clicked approve on her requests. I'd been hemorrhaging money for years, quietly, without complaint, because that's what good sisters do, right? That's what family means. Sacrifice without keeping score. Give without expecting anything back. Except Emma kept score. She knew exactly how much she was taking. And when it came time to give something back, not money, just a seat at her wedding, just acknowledgement that I existed, she chose to erase me instead. We needed the seat for someone important. That's what she'd said to the wedding planner. Someone important. Not her sister who'd paid for her life for 3 years. Not the person who co-signed her apartment and saved her from collections agencies and kept her phone on and her car on the road. Someone important. I sat at my kitchen table at midnight. My laptop screen glowed in the dark apartment. My cursor hovered over the button that said, "Cancel automatic payment." 1 hour had passed since the wedding planner's message. 1 hour since my sister decided I didn't matter. 1 hour since my mother told me it was Emma's choice and I should understand. I clicked. Then I clicked again, and again. 8 times total. 1 for each automatic transfer. 1 for each month I'd been invisible. 1 for each time I'd said yes when I should have said enough. The confirmation messages popped up, one after another. Your automatic payment has been canceled. Your scheduled transfer will no longer process. This action is effective immediately. My hands stopped shaking. My breathing evened out. For the first time in hours, I felt calm, clear, like I'd been underwater and finally surfaced. I'd been building a case. Now it was time to use it. I spent the next 2 days preparing. I took screenshots of every single payment, 3 years' worth of bank statements showing $2,340 leaving my account every month like clockwork. I downloaded every text conversation where Emma promised to pay me back soon, or thanked me for saving her life, or swore just this once. I saved the email from her wedding planner with the exact timestamp showing when my invitation was withdrawn. I organized everything into a folder on my desktop, labeled simply Emma. Then I waited. The first crack appeared on day 3. Emma's phone got disconnected during her bachelorette party in Miami. I knew because Madison posted about it on Instagram, a story showing Emma freaking out because her phone suddenly went dark mid-toast. "Fun drama, but we're still celebrating," the caption said with laughing emojis. I stared at that post for a long time. She looked happy, carefree, surrounded by 10 friends who apparently all rated an invitation to her wedding. I wasn't in any of the photos. Day 4, her car payment bounced. I knew because Jake called me, not Emma, Jake. "Hey, this is weird, but Emma's car payment didn't go through, and it's showing your name on the account. Did something happen with the bank?" His voice was confused, but not accusatory. Not yet. "I canceled it," I said simply. Silence. Then, canceled what? The car payment, and her insurance, and her phone bill, all of it. "Why would you do that?" Now his voice changed, got harder. "Ask your fiancé." I hung up. Day 5, her landlord called about late rent. I know because Mom called me screaming. Actually screaming? What have you done? Emma is about to lose her apartment. She uninvited me from her wedding. So you're trying to ruin her life? No, I'm just not paying for it anymore. You're being incredibly selfish. I laughed, actually laughed. It came out bitter and sharp. Mom, I've paid $84,000 over 3 years. What part of that is selfish? She hung up on me. Day 6, Emma showed up at my apartment. I heard her before I saw her, banging on my door hard enough to rattle the frame, yelling my name. "Open this door right now, open it!" I took my time, made tea first, let it steep, added honey, stirred it slowly. Only then did I walk to the door, my mug warm in my hands, and open it. She looked terrible. Her hair was in a messy bun, no makeup, sweatpants with a stain on the thigh. Her face was red and blotchy. What the hell did you do? I canceled some automatic payments. You canceled everything. My phone, my car, my rent, everything. Do you know what week this is? It's my wedding week. She was shouting loud enough that my neighbor's door cracked open. Mrs. Chen peeked out, saw the scene, and quietly closed her door again. "You uninvited me." I took a sip of tea. It was too hot, but I didn't flinch. "I uninvited my money." "That's insane. You're sabotaging my wedding." "I'm not doing anything. I'm just not paying for your life anymore." I turned around, walked back to my kitchen, and picked up the folder I'd prepared, the one with every screenshot, every text, every promise she'd broken. I handed it to her. "Here, in case you forgot." She opened it, started flipping through pages. Her face went from red to white to red again. You can't just..." "When were you going to tell me?" My voice came out quiet, calm, almost gentle. "Tell you what?" "That I wasn't invited, that I didn't matter enough for a seat. When were you going to tell me?" She didn't answer, just stood there holding the folder, pages trembling in her hands. "Let me guess, you weren't going to tell me at all. You were just going to let me find out when I never got a formal invitation. Or maybe you thought I'd figure it out eventually and just not bring it up, save everyone the awkwardness." "It wasn't personal." I stared at her. "Say that again?" "We needed the seat for someone important." "There it is." I took the folder back from her hands. "You needed the seat for someone important, and I wasn't important enough. After 3 years and $84,000, I wasn't important enough for a folding chair in the back row." "You're twisting this." "Get out." "Mom said you have to fix this. Dad said..." "Get out." She called our parents from my doorstep, put them on speakerphone so I could hear them demanding I fix this right now. Dad's voice boomed through her phone. "This is petty and cruel. Your sister is about to get married and you're sabotaging her over hurt feelings?" "Hurt feelings," I repeated. "Is that what we're calling it?" Mom's voice cut in. "Just restart the payments. We can talk about the wedding later." "No." Emma started crying, real tears, not the fake ones she used to get out of trouble when we were kids. "I might lose my apartment. Jake's parents are asking questions about why I can't pay my own bills. The wedding venue needs the final payment and I don't have it. You're ruining everything." I felt something crack in my chest. Not sympathy, something colder. "When were you going to tell me?" I asked again. "Just answer that one question and I'll consider it." She wiped her face, looked at me, and said, "I wasn't. I thought it would be easier if you just didn't know until after." The silence that followed had weight, the kind that presses down on your shoulders and makes it hard to stand up straight. That's when her perfect world started to crumble. I closed my door, locked it, and didn't answer it again, no matter how long she knocked. The consequences came fast after that. Emma's wedding got postponed. She couldn't afford the final venue payment of $8,000. Turns out she'd been counting on me to help out with that too, though she'd never asked me directly, just assumed, the way she'd assumed about everything else. Her venue gave her 2 weeks to come up with the money or they'd give the date to someone else. She didn't make it. Jake's family started asking serious questions. His mom apparently cornered Emma at what was supposed to be a final wedding dress fitting and asked point blank how Emma had been paying her bills for the past few years. Emma tried to dodge, tried to laugh it off, but Jake's mom was a lawyer and she didn't let things go. By the end of that conversation, Jake knew the truth. He knew his fiancée had been living off her sister's money while simultaneously uninviting that sister from their wedding. He wasn't happy. 2 of Emma's credit cards went to collections. Without my monthly minimum payments, she defaulted in less than 30 days. The calls started, the letters, the threats of legal action. She tried to pay them herself with money she apparently didn't have. Nothing cleared. Her credit score, already bad, dropped another 100 points. Her landlord officially threatened eviction. 3 months of back rent adding up because my subsidies had covered nearly half her monthly payment. She'd never told her roommate. Her roommate found out when the eviction notice got taped to their door.
The roommate moved out within 2 weeks, left Emma with full rent she couldn't pay. Emma had to move back in with our parents. At 31 years old, engaged to be married, she packed up her apartment and moved into her childhood bedroom. Mom helped her pack. Dad rented a U-Haul. Nobody called to tell me. I found out through Madison's Instagram stories. Boxes stacked in a bedroom I recognized.
Emma sitting on a twin bed surrounded by trash bags full of clothes. Her social media changed overnight. All the wedding countdown posts disappeared. The photos of venue visits and dress fittings and cake tastings, gone. Her engagement photos vanished from her profile picture. She went completely silent for 2 weeks. Then she posted one thing, a generic quote about seasons of change with a sunset background. The comments were cautious, concerned. "You okay, babe? What happened? Still here for you." But nobody actually knew. Emma wasn't telling anyone the truth. Jake's parents asked for a break, not calling off the wedding completely, just some time to work through things. Translation: time for Jake to decide if he wanted to marry someone who'd been lying about her finances for years, someone who treated her own sister, the sister who'd been funding her life, like garbage she could throw away when it became inconvenient. I didn't know if Jake would stay or go. I didn't care either way. Mom called me every single day for 2 weeks. The voicemails got increasingly desperate. "Please just talk to Emma, she's devastated. You don't understand what you've done to this family. Your father won't even speak to me about you, he's so disappointed. This is what happens when you're selfish, people get hurt." The messages started at 2 minutes long and eventually stretched to 5, 6, 7 minutes of guilt and blame and demands that I fix what I'd broken. I didn't break anything. I just stopped holding broken things together. Dad only called once. I was at work when my phone rang, his name flashing on the screen. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Maybe curiosity. Maybe the last tiny bit of hope that he'd surprise me. "Yeah? Is this really how you want to be remembered, as the daughter who abandoned her family?" Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "I'm sorry Emma hurt you." Just disappointment. Just shame. Just one more confirmation that I'd been right all along. "Dad, she uninvited me from her wedding after I paid for her life for 3 years." Money isn't everything. You're right, it's not. But apparently it was enough for her to take it every single month without question, just not enough for me to deserve a seat at her wedding. He sighed, the same tired sigh he'd used my whole life when I did something he didn't approve of. "You're going to regret this." I already regret it. I regret every payment I made, every time I said yes, every time I let her take and never gave myself permission to say enough. He hung up. 2 weeks later, I called a family meeting. They had no idea what was coming. I told them I was leaving. Not just the wedding I'd never been invited to, leaving everything. I'd given my notice at Dad's company. My company, really, the one I'd built from his near bankruptcy into something profitable. I'd accepted a remote position with a tech firm in another state. I'd hired movers. I'd signed a lease. I was done. Mom cried. Real tears this time, not the manipulative ones she used when she wanted me to cave on something. "You can't just leave." "Watch me." "What about the business? Your father worked his whole life." "The business I saved, the business I grew, the business nobody thanked me for taking over. I hired a replacement. She starts next month. You'll be fine." Emma sat silent through the whole thing, just stared at me with red-rimmed eyes, mascara smudged at the corners. She looked small, diminished, like someone had pulled out the bones that held her upright. "Is this because of the wedding?" she finally whispered. "It's because of everything. The wedding was just the last thing." I stood up from the table. "I'm leaving in 2 weeks. Don't call me. Don't come to my apartment. Don't ask me to reconsider. I'm done being the person this family uses and discards when it's convenient." "You're still my sister," Emma said quietly. I paused at the door, looked back at her. No, I was your bank account. There's a difference. And then I walked out, leaving her world in ruins. 6 months later, I live in a city I'd never been to before I moved here, Portland, Oregon. Rain nearly every day, but I don't mind. My apartment is on the 3rd floor of an old building with huge windows that face a street lined with coffee shops and bookstores. Morning light comes through at an angle, makes everything look clean and new. I work from a desk I found at an estate sale, solid wood, slightly beat up, exactly right. I walk 3 blocks to the same coffee shop every morning. The barista knows my order now, medium latte, 1 sugar. I sit by the window and watch people pass by. I don't know any of them. That's the point. Nobody here knows I'm the daughter who left, the sister who cut them off, the woman who chose herself for once in her life. I'm just another person with a laptop, drinking coffee, living quietly. My apartment is smaller than the one I left, but it's mine, fully mine. I pay rent with money I earned. I pay utilities with money that doesn't disappear into someone else's pockets. I buy groceries and actually cook dinner instead of grabbing takeout because I'm too exhausted from carrying everyone else's weight. Last night, I made pasta with vegetables I chopped myself, ate it at my little kitchen table, washed the dishes, put on music, existed without anyone taking anything from me. I walk to Powell's Books on weekends, get lost in the stacks for hours, buy paperbacks I'll actually read instead of books I think will impress people. I joined a yoga studio 2 blocks from my apartment. Nobody there asks why I'm alone, or where my family is, or why I moved across the country. They just show up, do the practice, and leave. It's enough. My phone buzzes sometimes. I don't look. Numbers I don't recognize, probably mom calling from different phones because I blocked her main line. Text notifications I swipe away without reading. Emails that go straight to a folder I never open. Emma got married eventually. I know because someone tagged me in a photo on Facebook. Her in a white dress, smaller wedding than she'd planned, courthouse steps instead of a venue. Jake's family wasn't in any of the pictures. I didn't click to see more. I just untagged myself and kept scrolling. I deleted the family group chat, changed my email address and didn't tell them the new one. Blocked mom and dad's numbers after the 15th voicemail I didn't listen to. Drew a line so clear nobody could cross it. They tried anyway. Dad showed up at my old apartment 3 months after I moved. The new tenant called me, confused, said a man was asking for me. I told her to call the police if he didn't leave. He left. I don't carry the weight of her life anymore. It stayed in those automatic transfers, in that canceled invitation, in the city I left behind. I'm never going back. Sometimes I think about what I lost. Sunday dinners, holiday traditions, the mythology of family that's supposed to mean something. But mostly I think about what I gained. Silence that feels like peace instead of erasure. Money in my account that stays there. Mornings where nobody needs anything from me, and I don't feel guilty about it. A life that's smaller, but mine. Completely mine. I don't know if Emma's marriage survived the truth. I don't know if she ever paid back a single dollar. I don't know if mom and dad understand yet why I left, or if they still blame me for breaking apart something that was already broken. I don't ask. I don't check. I don't let the wondering pull me back toward people who only valued me for what I could give. The loudest act of rebellion isn't screaming or fighting back. It's simply refusing to carry someone else's life when they've made it clear you're not invited to share it. For years, I was the sister who paid for everything, the daughter who stepped up, the woman who said yes over and over until the word lost all meaning. But the only wrong choice I made was believing that love meant emptying myself out for people who'd never think to fill me back up. And now, 2,000 miles away in an apartment with hardwood floors and windows that let in all the light, I finally understand what freedom feels like. Tell me, have you ever paid for someone's life while they erased you from theirs? Have you ever been the person everyone needed until suddenly you needed something back? If you've ever been the forgotten sister, the convenient ATM, the one who gave everything and got uninvited anyway, know this: walking away isn't cruel, staying would be. Drop your story in the comments below, and if this hit home, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss stories like these. Your support means everything and helps us share these powerful truths that too many people carry alone.